Let's talk sports, fans. Thanks for tuning in.
Good evening, sports fans. Welcome to another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers. I'm your boy Bodkins, and of course, with me is my main guy, Whit. Whit, what is up, my man? Welcome to Headkicks and Haymakers UFC. Drake and Kendrick were the only one throwing bars and dropping bombs on people at UFC 301 happened on Saturday. This is our UFC 301 post show. We'll talk everything 301 tonight and look into the card I'm going to be at live in person Saturday, UFC St. Louis, headlined by the none other than Mr. Black Beast himself, Derek Lewis.
Hey, man, that's kind of dope, bro. Like, if he throws off his shorts, are you going to catch him?
So I'm sitting too high. I don't know if he can throw it as high as where I'm going to be sitting at with. But nonetheless, if he throws the cup, I mean, I'll let my wife catch it, and then I'll put in a display case to show everybody right here on H&H. This is Derek Lewis's, his cup or his shorts.
There you go, bro. There you go. Memorable moment, memorabilia. You got to do it.
Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. We kind of talked about it off air, and I'll ask you, who do you got winning? Who scoring this Drake and Kendrick beef before we get into 301?
Man, let me tell you something. First of all, you and I, we brought it up real quick. Ain't nothing like good old-fashioned rap beef. You know what I'm saying?
Amen.
Sometimes rap was built on the strength of competition. And right now, two of the heavyweights of hip hop have been going at it for about a week, maybe 2 weeks. And low key, it's been some low blows, if I must say so myself. But I can't lie. Drake has got to get up off the canvas right about now, man. Got to get up off the canvas. You know what I'm saying? Kendrick is coming in there with that Dagestani wrestling.
Hey, what is this? Is Max and Gaethje and Kendrick is Max Holloway right now is what you're saying.
Definitely. Kendrick is Max Holloway telling him to stand in the middle of the ring for the last 10, 15 seconds and just throw blows. Just like, hey, look, if it's a diss track that you put out and I got 10 minutes later, that is exactly what you got with Kendrick and Drake right now. So big shouts out to all the Drake fans. But man, let me tell you, Kendrick Lamar is actually rapping. Let's put it like that. That man rapping.
Yeah, he is. Somebody tweeted out, and I don't know who else I'd give him credit. Is like, who knew that a diss track by Kendrick Lamar would be the summer's biggest hit so far? Would be the Summer Not Like Us.
Man, listen, and it's the craziest thing. It's the craziest thing that these rap battle songs are the top 5 or 6 on Spotify and iTunes.
Yeah, right, Billboard 100s. Yeah, it's wild. It's crazy to me.
Right.
I do, man. I kind of lean towards Kendrick as well. You're right. Rap was really built on this, like street rap, bars going at each other. That battle rap. I'm enjoying it. I am probably I love hip hop. I told you before I love hip hop. I love rap music. Now I have really checked out of the last probably, 4 or 5 years, maybe more, of other than artists that I already like. It's hard for me to get into some new artists. There's a few new artists like Joyner Lucas and a couple others out there that I really can get down with. But man, every morning I am listening to these diss tracks. I'm waiting to see who dropped the newest one. It's got me excited, man. I enjoy it. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, bro, definitely. This is one of those things where I didn't see it going on this long, but I am excited for it to be, it's not nobody's pussyfooting around. We're not playing. We're going for the jugular. If you got a hidden child, or if you hit your wife, or if your other baby mama is secretly telling everybody she's lonely, this is where we are talking about it right here in the rap beef. So shout out to Drake and Kendrick. And when it's over, they could do the Nas and Jay-Z and go on stage together.
Yeah.
Fill a concert.
Yeah. I think Drake is too petty for that, so I don't know if he'll do that. But hopefully they'll be able to squash the beef. Sam, I got my glasses on, or else I would put I got them same exact shades actually that Wick got on. Maybe next week.
Yeah,
Nonetheless,
I'm trying not to strain my eyes with all these lights.
Yeah. One thing I'll say real quick to I think it's good for hip hop right now because it's bringing eyes back to the product, it's getting people to talk about rap, right? Like getting people to where we hadn't really. To me, it's been a long time since where I feel like people have really been talking about rap music and that type of stuff. Like to me, and maybe it's just entering my timeline, but I just feel like are you getting that sense? Like it's more people are talking about it now than it probably the last 5-6 years.
I mean, the thing is, man, what's really happened is the mainstream eye has changed because a lot of these artists that we like are so independent that you kind of got to go find their music. You got to go, download it, or you got to go find a platform in which you could play it. But when it's artists this big, like Drake, like Kendrick, there's no way that you can't hear it. There's no way that it's not being seen or talked about. And it's pretty dope because, of course, somewhere in there are so many different names and different artists that are being brought up. Right now, Future is somehow connected to the rap beef. Metro Boomin is connected to the rap beef. Dave Freeze is connected to the rap. Like, there's so many names that's connected to this right now, and I'm sure that everybody is technically eating off of shares and streams just because these two heavyweights of the game are throwing blows pretty much day by day. And it's crazy. So, hey, look, once again, shout out to everybody in the stream. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. This is Headkicks and Haymakers. We got my guy, Nick, coming back in just a second. So check this out. If you're watching right now and you in the comment section, tell us who you think is winning the rap battle. Who you got? Kendrick Lamar? Do you like Drake? What is your favorite diss track that's been put out so far? Let us know in the comment section because, of course, we're gonna be, even though it's not fighting, we're definitely gonna talk about it. Last week it was like a really big week for combat sports. We had so much going on. UFC 301 down in Brazil. It was crazy. One of those big fight weekends where, if you're a UFC fan, if you're an MMA fan, the crazy part is after UFC 300, we did not know what we were going to get. UFC 300 was so over the top. The fights were so OP. We were going, what are we going to get when we watch UFC 301? But then somehow, some way, Uncle Dana put together a card that, had some sleepers on it. I don't know if you knew, but it definitely had some sleepers on it, and I was definitely caught off guard by the fights themselves, and also by pretty much, like what took place as far as what led up to it. So I'm excited to talk about that as soon as Knicks get back in the building. Once again, everybody, like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget. We got the Let's Talk Sports brand of podcast going on everywhere on all platforms right now. YouTube is going crazy. Shout out to my guy, Sam, Mr. First Down Dean in the building. And make sure, hey, don't forget, right about now is one of those times where, just got word from Nick. He's going to be back in a second. He lives out there in the Midwest, so like that weather's crazy. So we got to prepare for that. Now, me personally, living in Florida, I'm just worried about hurricane season. Nick got to worry about random tornadoes and hurricanes and this storm that must be messing up his cable. We got to put some money in the chat for Nick's new internet. But either way, once again, so not only did UFC 301 just take place, everybody, on the back end, if you're like me and you're an avid boxing fan, right? You got to remember, Canelo Alvarez just took on Jaime Munguia. That's right. I think that was one of the better boxing exhibitions of the last pretty much half the year because we go, oh, there he goes. And for right now, we're probably going to get into what happened with Canelo and Jaime Munguia in just a minute. Let's see if Brother Nick is back in the building. There he goes.
Sorry, man. We've had some bad storms here. Fucked up the internet real quick. So all good, though. All good. All good.
We're back. Man. I was just telling everybody that, me and you were going crazy because of UFC 301 and how exciting that was. And then we were kind of talking about nodding off during UFC 301, but somehow, some way, Dana pulled off like this. It ended up being an exciting card to watch.
It did, and let's start with it. We actually did pretty well on the picks. We had a Brazilian sweep. It didn't happen because somehow
old man Anthony Smith.
Old man Anthony Smith. Yeah, browsers messed up my internet, right, Randall? That's exactly what happened. We're back, baby. Nonetheless, old man Anthony Smith messed that clean sweep for the Brazilians. I think to me, coming away, we'll play matchmaker in a second. To me, though, the highlight of the night was the guy that we called it, the King of Rio, reclaiming his throne. Jose Aldo, clean 1, 2, 3. As far as just rounds 1, 2, 3, unanimous decision win on Saturday.
Man, listen, one of the other highlights of the night, and I know you saw it, I did, and when I saw it, I was literally coming out of the kitchen with adult snacks, and I almost dropped it. But like I'm talking about Michael Pereira and backflip onto Ihor Pretoria. Did you see that?
Oh yeah. That's so. The broadcast did excellent talking about that as well. It's technically illegal. I mean, he nailed that kid. He kicked that guy straight down a downed opponent. Now they let it go, but that's about the second or third time he's done that. Interesting for Michel Pereira, but he gets the win. I mean, when I kind of jinxed it, I was like, oh, it's going to be an early night because the first 3 fights on the card were finishes in the first 2 rounds. And then obviously the main goes the distance and the co-main goes the distance.
It was one of those things, man. You did call it like Caio Borralho, that guy, looked really good in the ring against Paul Craig. Paul Craig kind of disappointed me a little bit, to be honest. I think highly of Paul Craig as a fighter, but he might have had a totally different game plan going into it. It did not work. Caio Borralho was all over the place. And then of course at the end he was like, what is it? Fight Nerds? I don't know what that is, but I'm gonna have to look it up. He put on some glasses. It's
because he's a fighter and he's a nerd because he wears glasses and stuff. So
yes, and he put the glasses on, he looked like a completely different person. He looked like he could definitely come on the Geek Squad and set up your LAN network so you can play Fortnite with your kids. That's exactly what it looked like. But for real though, getting to the main and the co-main, that was where our bread was buttered. Alejandro Pantoja, man, once again, what can we say? He showed us pretty much that, of course, there are levels to this. Steve Eckridge, kudos to him for going in there, and
it was a close fight. A lot of people
had like 2 rounds. I thought it was at least the second and the third round looked fairly even, or if not in Eckridge's favor. And then of course that 5th round, man, he just got peppered. He just got, and that was
went for the takedown. It didn't work out well for him, and then Pantoja wins. It's and still. Let's talk about. We'll work from the top down. Who do you think should be next for Pantoja? He's trying to get Mighty Mouse to come out of semi-retirement, come back to the UFC, and he liked that fight. To me, I don't think Demetrius Johnson's coming back, but to me, it's Amir Abazi should be next.
Yeah, man, it would be great to see. We've got a lot of these like lineage fights kind of in the UFC right now, where we want to see, Mighty Mouse come out of retirement. We want to see, Of course, everybody wants to see the Prince of Dagestan come out of retirement one time for my fight. We want to see Conor McGregor come out, because these are the names.
Well, Conor's fighting in 2 months. 2 months.
Conor's fighting in 2 months. So he's kind of in that same realm. Like, we want to see the names that we are used to seeing headlining, just one more time, because just for nostalgia reasons. But yeah, Amir Abazi right now, when you think about flyweights, because of course it can't be Manel Cape.
Yeah, Cape just actually got matched up with. They're doing him and Muhammad Makayev in London in July.
Right. Yeah, I saw that. I saw Muhammad Makayev and Manel Cape. Kai Kara France is always somewhere in the mix, but I mean, do we?
That's who I like. That's who I think Urseg should fight in Perth. They're gonna go when they go to Perth. Do Kai Kara France, who's from New Zealand, versus Steve Urseg in he even Kai Kara France kind of called out Steve for that fight, and I was like, ooh, that's a good one. I'll take that.
Man, it's one of those things where definitely Kai Kara France is on the level in my mind more of probably what would make a better match for Urseg. I felt like I said, watching it, the skill set of Pantoja came out after the third
just
round.
the ground game. He's a high level jiu-jitsu guy. The ground game was better, where I feel like Steve and Kai Kara France, they're going to want to throw hands, so that would be an exciting fight. So sign me up for it.
Yeah, man, I can't imagine just having a smaller guy on your back, on your neck, grabbing it looked really draining for Steve Urseg, and I could tell he was drained. In that post-fight interview, he looked worked. But hey, you lost to the champ, so it's not such a bad thing when you lose to the champ.
Nah. Jose Aldo fought his last card, his last fight on his contract. Said he'd like to make another run for the title in the bantamweight division. He also talks about boxing. I don't know about you, Will. I have no interest whatsoever to see Jose Aldo in a boxing ring. Let's keep him in the octagon.
The thing is, it's happening more and more often where, due to the level of competition that happens when you're in the UFC, the fighters are going, well, I can box and still make money. You know what I'm saying? I'm not at risk of getting as injured, possibly pulling somebody getting me or putting me to sleep. But my hands, if you know, like I know, me and you both do, Jose Aldo got them hands. Yeah. Jose Aldo definitely got them hands. So it's a possibility, man. If he focuses for a year and some change, maybe half a year, 6 months, 8 months, he can go into the boxing ring and maybe, be the undercard on a Jake Paul fight or in the zone, or, maybe Turkey Al Sheikh takes him and we get some money in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So, salam alaikum to all my brothers out there in Riyadh as well.
Yeah, if he stays in the UFC, I'm kind of looking at it. He's put in the rankings. He got put in the rankings at 8. So I would like to see, how about him, and he beat Cheeto once. Cheeto said, hey, I'll run that back. I want to get that one back. Or how about a Jose Aldo versus Song Yadong, or even a Figueiredo fight, you know what I mean? But him and Song Yadong, who is 7, that would be a fun one. Or even the Cheeto and Aldo would make a lot of sense too.
Cheeto Aldo, I would definitely do that. In my mind, just to see it, and I somehow don't like this fighter, but I just would like to see it because these are two names that were at the top of the weight at the division at one point. You throw them in there with Cejudo. Let's just see what the two old dogs do.
Former featherweight champion versus former flyweight bantamweight champ. That would be a good one. I would be okay with that.
Yeah, you make them co-mains. You let Henry Cejudo do his podcast. You tell him, hey, look, we're gonna put you in there with one of the greatest fighters in the division of all time, and see who comes out winning three rounds.
Yeah, or you could do like a fight night main event. I don't know if Henry would want to do that.
Yeah.
But then it's a main event. I'm glad Jose Aldo gets the W in Rio. I told you we don't get very good stories to end careers. I wish he would have put the gloves down the center and just called it quits, and we would have got the nice send off in Rio. But nonetheless, it seems like Jose Aldo's back, the UFC Hall of Famer. And
I was looking for that though. I was looking for that, bro. I was like, oh, is he gonna take him off? Because normally, like, they get the guy, they cut the tape like right there, and then they put him down. But from all accounts that I've seen, Jose still wants to do something. He still wants to be in combat sports some way, shape, or form. And from what it looked like, he didn't look like, sometimes we see them going on the way out and they don't look as good. He didn't look so bad.
Really even when he retired, but previously, it's not like he was on a losing streak. It's not like he was Tony Ferguson or somebody like that, right? Like, he was winning fights. He just lost to Merab. And I don't know about you, but a lot of guys have lost to Merab. You know what I mean? Like, but his 3 previous fights were wins, like pretty much wins. He had beaten Cheeto at bantamweight. He beat like Rob Font at bantamweight. And then he goes up against Merab, a guy who I think is could be the next bantamweight champion of the world.
Man, listen, once again, this is one of those things where if you're losing to the guy who is the champ or has a potential to come in the champ or something like that, it's not that bad. It's like, in basketball, at one point in time, people would always wonder, man, how are you losing to the Spurs? How are you losing to sleepy Tim Duncan and Manu Ginobili and Tony Parker? Then they won championship after championship after championship. And you had to stand the sight of Greg Popovich in post-game commentary, and you had to understand that there are levels to this. And even though it's not as exciting, you're correct. Jose lost to Merab. Merab is definitely on his way up, and if not possibly going to be the champ, he's definitely only like one of 2 that you can say.
He's
right
fighting
there
for the championship next. We know that for sure.
For sure. Yeah. Ain't nothing else he can do right now. Nothing, especially with those TikTok and Instagram videos. Him walking around with what's my guy? Him walking around with Sean O'Malley on his shoulders and stuff like that.
Yeah, the fake Sean O'Malley. Yeah.
Been killing. Those have been killing. Yeah, he's got. I forgot. He was in. I saw a video of him in Vegas by the Spear with a fake Sean O'Malley, a fake Dana White, like all hanging out.
Yeah, he's been killing it. Merab's one of the best people to follow on Twitter or any social media. He's hilarious. We mentioned the aforementioned Anthony Smith. He was the only non-Brazilian to win on the main card here. He gets it done. I mean, jumped the gilly pretty easily. Shows that there is levels to this shit. He is now currently, Anthony Smith is currently ranked. He's ranked back in the 10. Who would we like to see Anthony kind of go against? I'm looking at here. I'm trying to play matchmaker. We know it could be Yuri and Alex next. We know Jamal Hill's mixed with Roundtree. What about him and Johnny Walker, or even Rakic, who is coming off the loss?
I like the Johnny Walker. I do like that one. Jan Blachowicz is too high up, but Johnny Walker, Nikita Krylov
is out. Jan Blachowicz is out. I was saying Rakic, who's kind of high up there.
Yeah. Rakic is probably like the right at the peak of where it would be. And the thing is, and did you catch it? Bruce Buffer made the error.
I did,
on the call.
He already lost to Johnny Walker May of last year, so I don't know if that they really want to run that back.
Right. And this is one of those. And for me, I think Anthony Smith is somewhere in there going to be like.
And he already lost to Rakic too back in 2020. So I don't know if they're gonna if I'm Johnny Walker or Rakic, do I really need to go up against Anthony Smith again? I've already beat him. Johnny Walker beat him by decision. Rakic beat him by decision. Maybe you do. I don't know.
Yeah, and the thing is, he beat Span twice already. Ankalev, you know,
You
said
could Nikita Krylov. He hasn't fought him. That's about the only guy up there that he hasn't faced. Now that I'm looking at his record.
And yeah, I would definitely think about the Krylov fight. That would be a good one. And listen, if we'll see how Roundtree does in his next fight, and maybe you can run that back as well too.
Yeah, or from Roundtree, if Jamal Hill loses, why not do Anthony Smith and Jamal Hill?
Yeah, okay, there you go. Jamal Hill is definitely one of those guys you throw in there with anybody. Where's everybody needs a Neil Magny. You know what I'm saying? let Anthony Smith in his last few years of commentary from time to time to post-fight commentary to reviews of the fight and everything. Let him be the Neil Magny. Let's call him and say, hey, this guy is young and up and coming. And just like Vitor Petrino was supposedly the next big hot thing, but he left his neck out there in the middle of a slam. For some odd reason, he did not realize that there were two arms going around his neck, and he got straight canceled right there on the spot. And Anthony Smith had to show him, hey, look, man, hey, I'm a big dog. I'm a veteran in this. It's not always about your muscles and how strong you are. And he showed him something.
Yeah, let's get into you mentioned it, the Mr. Backflipper himself, Michel Pereira. He is now ranked. He is now entered the middleweight rankings at number 13. Who we looking to match him up with? I like him, and I don't know, because we'll just go ahead and say Kaio in the same spot here, because Kaio is now ranked number 12. I would like to see Kaio. He called out Jared Cannonier, which man, that would be one of those guys did. I can't remember.
Cannonier is injured right now. Am I mistaken?
No, he's coming back though. He's ready to go. I believe.
Now, I would like to see when healthy. Jared Cannonier right now he's ranked 4th. Jared Cannonier, in my opinion, can do like we can swap Robert Whitaker and Jared Cannonier and Israel Adesanya based on just when the last time we see them fight. So those 3 or 4, I like the idea.
I'd like to see Michel or Kaio take on Marvin Vettori at the number 5.
Right, Marvin Vettori. Yeah, Vittori's a tough matchup.
He's coming off. He was supposed to fight Brendan Allen not too long ago, I think, and pulled out. Brendan Allen's sitting at 6, so maybe he could take on one of those. Nasruddin Imanov is right there at 8. I wouldn't mind seeing him. We know Hamzat's going to fight Whitaker. Who knows what's happening with Izzy, and I think Sean is fighting somebody. He got a match.
Sean's fighting.
Oh, Sean's fighting.
One day Izzy's going to fight. One day Izzy's going to do DDP, maybe.
Yeah, Sean Strickland's. Yeah, it could be Izzy DDP next. Yeah. But looks like it is going to be Sean and Paulo are fighting next month in June.
Right. Okay. And then
302.
I'm looking here, and of course we got Michelle. Yeah, okay. So I don't see a fighter that I was thinking about would be a good matchup for him, because of course he is fighting up. So maybe my guy Hermanson. Has he fought Jack Hermanson yet?
No, Jack, you could fight Jack and Michel Pereira, or Jack kind of said he wanted to fight up in the ranking, so I don't know who to give him next. So that would be interesting too.
Right, and then like we don't want to go too high, but then you always got somebody like Paulo Costa who is scary on good nights, and
he's taking on Sean Strickland next.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm saying. Paulo Costa is scary, depending on when you catch him. So if he does not beat Sean Strickland and continues a little bit of a downward spiral from his last fight where he lost to Robert Whitaker, but Robert Whitaker's not a bad guy to lose to. It's a possibility. Hey, you could throw him right there in that mix and say, look, who's going to get out of the top 10? Are you going to get you're going to break into the top 10, or are you going to get out of the top 10, the top 15 if you lose for Pereira?
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think Michelle Pierre. I'd like to see those guys fight up. Bahilo and Pereira. Anytime a guy who is just one, I like to see them fight up. So give them on Jack Hermanson or Nasruddin Aminov's right there. And we got. I really like. Go ahead, somebody. One of these guys. One of these guys. Go ahead and beat Marvin Vettori and get him out of the top 5 because he's not going to win the title anytime soon. So we might as well just get him out of there. Let's get into this week's event here. Like I said at the top of the show, it's UFC St. Louis. I will be in the building. It is the headline. I just want to look at kind of the top of the card here. There's some good fights on here, but we'll just pick the top 2 here. Some fights I'm interested in really watching. My guy Terrence McKinney on the prelims. Chase Hooper's on the prelims. So I want to catch those guys as well. But man, watch out for Alex Leroy Cesarius. This kid he's nasty, featherweight. And then obviously we got Alonzo Menifield, who's a light heavyweight too. Huge neck on that Menifield guy. Huge neck. He's tough. SOB. He's working.
Nick, hold on 1 second for me. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back, bro.
Okay. But anyway, we're looking at UFC St. Louis. Alonzo Menifield is ranked number 11th. He's on this card on Saturday. He's taking on Carlos Uberg. Menfield's actually the dog on this card. Uberg, is Carlos Uberg even ranked? Uberg's not even ranked. And then it's 270. I kind of like the 220 plus 220 on Menifield. Alex Leroy Cesarius too. He's plus money at plus 175. I kind of like that. Let me look at the featherweight here.
All right, where were you? Okay, go. I'm listening.
I was looking at just the featherweight. So Sean Woodson or Cesarius 8. I was looking at some of this gambling here. I like a lot of dogs on this card. I mean, Terrence McKinney at plus 140, Chase Hooper at plus 140 is a dog. My guy Alex Cesarius Leroy is at plus 175. Menifield plus 220. I like a lot of the dogs on this card, man. Like you could put a nice little parlay here and make you some money if it hits. I mean, these guys put pretty decent odds on some of these guys that I think could win. But we get to the we'll start with the co-main. You got Joaquin Buckley coming off his biggest win where he beat Vincent Luque just a few months back. Was begging Dana to get on this card because he is from St. Louis. He is now got his wish. He is the 11th ranked welterweight, and he is taking on Rizabulov. Nasruddin Rizabulov.
Yeah, Rizabulov. I don't know much about this one, but to see Joaquin Buckley, up as far as betting is concerned, makes me happy, makes me smile. He's worked for it. You know what I'm saying? He took on a really tough opponent in his last fight, in Vincent Luque, and did the dang thing. So it's well deserved. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta put up or shut up. So now you at home, you're in front of your home crowd. Right now, as I look at Nasruddin Rizabulov,
he's 2-0 in the UFC, all by knockout.
Yeah, he's 2-0 in the UFC, all by knockout. But if you look at that record, Jesus Christ, the boy has been fighting since he's been 17. He's been 34, 8-2.
That's crazy. 12 by knockout and 20 by submission. So goes to show you this guy's, he's not playing around. He's here for a good time and not for a long time with. I'm looking at his fights with his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 fights, didn't even get out of the first round.
Man, first of all, you know what I'm saying? He got my guy, Cedric Dumas. I think I was watching that and I did not recognize who Rizabulov was, but I do remember how it happened, and it was definitely a knockout that you had to watch. So he's got them heavy hands, man. I mean, even though he's got, like you said, those 7 or 8 by submission, this is one of those where, hey, if my boy is not paying attention, man, he can get his head taken off in this one.
You know what? I think that's what's going to happen with. I just got a feeling. I think Joaquin Buckley is walking in with this. He's bragging. He's a little braggadocious. I think he's going to. I think he's feeling himself after beating Luque, and he kept asking for this fight, asking for a fight. They gave him one to shut him the hell up, and they gave him the wrong one.
It's kind of like you want to fight. Here goes a fight.
Yeah, we're gonna make St. Louis real pissed off tonight. I actually like the upset in the co-main. I just got a feeling, and I'm gonna go with Nasser Tolan, baby, in our co-main event.
Hey man, I feel for Joaquin Buckley because this looks as if this is a match meant for him to lose on, and you know, at home, man, the feeling, you know, the people in the crowd, your family. This is one of those where you got to power through all the doubt that is possibly happening, because listen, anything from Dagestan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, no go on the wrestling, bro. To try and get him out of there as quick as you can.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about him is the guy's got heavy hands. He's knocked people out. If he gets him out in the first round, I mean, we just said it. The guy has got out of the first round in his last like 7 fights. So the main event, Derek the Black Beast Lewis. Everybody knows and loves Derek Lewis. Versus Derek Lewis is dropped all the way to number 12 in the heavyweight division. Versus Rodrigo Nascimento. Derek Lewis, obviously the KO king of the UFC. Nascimento has only got 1 loss, where Derek Lewis has lost like 3 out of his last 4 fights. His last fight, not so good against against Jalton Almeida. Remember, Almeida wore him like a backpack. For pretty much all 5 rounds. But this is a little different. Rodrigo will probably want to stand and bang and not wrestle as much. Derek looks like he's in good shape. He says he feels healthy. How do you see this one going?
Listen, man, Rodrigo Nascimento better take a big page from the Jalton Almeida handbook. Do not stand directly in front of him. Make him move and catch him off guard. Throw him off balance. Derek Lewis, I think he was feeling himself for a short period of time, and he was not preparing as he should. Of course, he was training. Of course, he was in the gym, but he would make comments about what he was doing, and I was eating buckets of fried chicken before fights and all kinds of stuff. But that's not only his personality, but that's who he is. But just imagine if he put 100% into the fight game every time he stepped into the ring. It looks as if that is what is going to happen this time, and I'm hoping for it just to see the Black Beast in peak condition, man. So, although the odds are right now got
Lewis minus 170.
Minus 1, yeah, I got okay. It was, you got 170. I got 162 on UFC.com. Man, I don't know, Rodrigo Nascimento. He might have to go down with this one, man. This might be the resurgence of the Black Beast.
Yeah, Derek Lewis is one of my favorite fighters of all time. Like, I just love him, man. Like, just a big guy. Just one of those guys you just never knew. Like, you probably knew he was never going to win a title unless he fought for the title twice. At once in the interim, then fought for the legitimate one against DC. But you just kind of knew, like, he's probably never going to win this thing. Much like my guy Roy Nelson, but some of those big heavyweight guys. Always my favorite. No way Derek Lewis is losing with me in the building. The Black Beast gets it done, baby, and I get to go home early. Lewis knockout, I'm going to say in the 2nd round, baby. Let's go.
I'm with you, man. If not the 2nd round, he might just catch him early. Tag that chin. 1st round, hit him with a good flurry, and go ahead and take him on out of there, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Black Beast back in action, because if I remember correctly, when he did that, he had that DeLima fight. He beat him in that 33-second span.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he's gonna go in like that.
I hope so.
For the kill.
I hope so. We'll see. We'll see what happens Saturday night. Wait, before we get up out of here, what do you got going on the rest of the week?
Real quick, we're just gonna throw it out there. Canelo Alvarez, Jaime Munguia, really big fight happened right before on the 4th. Right before
I didn't know if you talked about it during while my internet was down, so my bad.
No, I just brought it up. I didn't really get into it, but yeah, great fight. Canelo Alvarez once again showed us that that although he may have a history of not fighting who the people may want him to fight, he is one of the best, if not the best, pound for pound fighter. That's why he makes the big bucks. Jaime Munguia, finally, who has never been knocked down ever, finally got knocked down, and basically in the end, those points scored Canelo Alvarez to win. Jaime Munguia will, I promise you, still be high in the rankings because that was not a tough loss. But in the end, you gotta tip your hat to Canelo. Who will Canelo fight next? Of course, everybody and their mama wants him to fight David Benavidez. David Benavidez was there. Benavidez said he's tired of waiting on Canelo. He may go up to just challenge for a belt, but they don't want him to do that because they want him to wait for Canelo. But what do we want as the people? We want them to go ahead and give us what we want. But what does Turkey Al Sheikh want?
Give the people what they want.
Yes, Turkey Al Sheikh wants to see Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Bud Crawford possibly in Riyadh at the end of the year. Canelo had made a comment in a conference earlier in the year, like he has no reason to fight Terrence Crawford, because if he beats Terrence Crawford, then the word will be, oh, he beat a smaller guy. If Bud beats Canelo, then it's like, oh, Canelo's old and weak. So he may make excuses, but Canelo don't back down from a check. Okay, that's one thing. Canelo does not back down from a check. So if the money's right, Canelo's there. He'll fight all night, and I'm excited to see what we got going on in boxing coming up next. So can't wait for that too.
Yeah, that'll be good. I think I would like to see either Canelo and Benavidez, or Canelo and Bud Crawford, either one.
Then we got Tank and Frank Martin coming up as well. They just now had a little bit of a standoff, so we gotta look forward to seeing brother
Tank
2 weeks
time
as well.
In 2 weeks time, next weekend actually. I'm sorry, next weekend is the lineage heavyweight championship of the world. Finally,
after an extra 2 months of waiting, we will see, and you and I will definitely preview that and do a little put a little backstory out there for both Usyk and the lineal champ. So I can't wait for that as well.
Yeah, that happened in 2 weeks' time, or not this weekend, but next weekend. So we'll talk about that and UFC St. Louis next Wednesday night, 8:00 Central, 9 Eastern. Whit, real quick again, where let people know what we got going on the rest of the week.
Man, tomorrow we got In the Hoop, man. So we're talking about these playoffs and the winners of the season superlatives for the NBA. Big shouts out to my guy Bobby. Big shouts out to Sam, who oftentimes is in the comments, Mr. First Down, Jay, and Alan Peralez. Man, we're gonna have a good time tomorrow night, and let's see what's up with these Knicks and these Pacers right now. And then OKC is going crazy. Timberwolves look better than we thought, and the Celtics may just end up somehow in the Eastern Conference Finals. But we got to see what happens, man. And I can't wait to talk about it tomorrow night.
Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow night with the guys on the LTS show as well, 8:00 Central, 9 Eastern. We'll be talking about the NBA Finals. We'll talk a little bit of this, football players in the NBA and NBA players in the NFL.
Oh, yeah, please, no.
We'll talk about that as well. Nonetheless, be a friend, tell a friend. This has been another great episode of Headkicks and Haymakers from my guy Whit. I'm Bodkins. I'm going to hit that outro. Y'all have a good weekend, and we'll catch you here next Wednesday night.
Peace.
Oh, I got to hit the outro. Uh-oh.
Hit the button.
I can't. It says having trouble loading my brands.
Oh my God.
Can you hit the outro?
Let's see. Well, while we're doing that, don't forget Tyson's gonna fight Jake Paul. It's gonna happen. And then
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.